Hello, welcome back to the final part of our read aloud for the main story.
Hi guys!
So yeah, let's get onto it.
We left off where?
True Sea God was the last one, so now
Yeah,
it's even. Okay.
Mentaiko pushed Nori aside, taking the blow that was meant for Nori. Meanwhile, none of the fallen angels before them showed any signs of running away. The little animals accompanying Nori get knocked away one by one, and even he took a substantial injury from a fallen angel attack. Mentaiko's glowing fish roe whirled around Nori's body, and each time a fallen angel pounced, the fiery-colored roe would blast back the attack limb. Without the help of his fish roe, Mentaiko's battle was an uphill slog. With each slash of his blade, a fallen angel disappeared into thin air. But even so, it didn't seem to make a dent in the number of fallen angels facing him, and even more so were emerging from the ocean bottom.
This is too much.
Beads of sweat rolling down his cheeks, Mentaiko looked at Nori fainted on the ground and grit his teeth. Then he lifted him high and chucked him toward the book.
Okay.
I'm blind.
Bring it. You're messing with the main man Mentaiko.
With a somewhat boyish voice, he roared like a cornered beast. Countless fallen angels were arrayed before him, yet he showed not a hint of despair, and his eyes gleamed with fire. The youth only grew fiercer as the battle wore on, but while also racking up more wounds, still he couldn't show any sign of weakness in the face of the hopeless scene before him, and yet his consciousness gradually began to turn blurry. He shook his head, trying to remain lucid, but the fallen angels were closing in. Boom! A sudden huge boom stopped Mentaiko's back from his daze into clarity. A young man with a nonchalant expression lifted himself high in the air on a tentacle, while the others were picking up the numerous boulders from the ground and hurling them at the outcoming fallen angels. The booming sound brought Mentaiko slowly gaining consciousness back. He grit his teeth and joined the offensive with this cool, collected young man. Finally, dawnlight lit up the sky, and a few rays pierced through the clouds. The fallen angels, as if unable to accept this level of brightness, receded into the sea, first one and then another. As more and more scattered, the little island regained its daytime peacefulness.
Hey, who are you? You're the real sea god, aren't you? Why do you let those people make sacrifices to the sea? You must know that you're only throwing bait to the fallen angels.
Why should I stop them?
Because you're a food soul.
No, humans have given me a new name, Yago. The youth took up the unconscious Nori and was about to depart when he suddenly halted. He turned his head, his face as world-weary and disinterested as ever. On the red night, I'll be there.
Huh?
For this business with Nori, we're even. Without waiting for Mentaiko to respond, Takawasa was already walking into the sea with the unresponsive Nori. The massive tentacle holding up his body kept him from contracting the red tinged seawater. The mist that he had dissipated now once again began to close in.
Tagawasa is like, octopus and wasabi. Yeah, they like to eat that in Japan, I think. Oh,
I'm not really a wasabi person. Like, I love Chinese spicy, and I really love Thai spicy, Korean spicy, but just wasabi, I can't.
Okay. Red night.
Months later,
So red night.
Red Night Gambling Den. Not far from the flower shoot of bliss, there is a massive cherry blossom tree, the canopy of which is practically the size of a small island in the center of a lake. Unlike other cherry blossom trees, this one stayed in bloom year-round, always bursting with innumerable blossoms.
This music though,
Once upon a time, there was also where some nobles enjoyed going to admire cherry blossoms, but now it was now the final gathering of each demon parade get-together. Red Night was a day when all Yagwe were at their peak of their strength. It was also the day that the gambling den opened. The leaders, powerful enough to obtain entrance into the gambling den, were putting on the line their own turfs, treasures, and even their own lives. In the way of the Yagwe, there were no underhanded tricks and no beating around the bush. Victory simply went to the strongest. A sedan chair carried by foxfires was slowly set down. A high red wooden heel struck the ground with clip-clop. A nonchalant man yawned and drifted over, but under the firelight his shadow showed the wriggling mass in the shape of a snake. A young woman with a smile as splendid as summer fireworks made her way forward, propped off of the ground by her long hair.
The description here.
Our numbers here keep growing, don't they? The more people take part in the parade, the more it proves our plan was a success. Although it's scheming, I never thought you guys would truly be able to succeed. All thanks to Bliss having aligned to the Emperor, and also to the boss for winning over the earliest members. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been so easy. But if it weren't for you, even if the night was ours, we would still fight each other to stalemate, scrapping for territory. Who would have come up with this idea to set up a gambling den? That's just a function of the weak needing to be wise. That is all.
My, oh my, if this isn't the folks from Venerable Moon, how goes it? Taking part in the gambling den this month? Of course. After all, I'm gonna be running all of Sakurajima one of these days. Hey, 8 legs. What's that look supposed to mean?
How strange.
What did you say? Fellows, why don't we have a seat first? We still have to wait for the newcomers to all get here before starting today's gambling den.
Daginjo's voice cut off their standoff. Takawasa paid no heed to Mentako's glare and walked past him to take his position.
Alright. Daiginjo, did you just say newcomers? I forget to tell you. Dragon Palace has agreed to join the Demon Parade. Today, the ruler will take part in the gambling den. We have more characters.
And a lot of characters gathered together. This is going to be interesting.
So Jade Box.
Red Night was called that because, aside from being the night where food souls had more spirit power, this was also the night where all cherry blossoms in Sakurajima would turn blood-soaked red color. The unusual spectacle became the stuff of formerly used to regular humans. A lantern-bearing young nobleman took a seat with stately dignity. His high-born reserve and delicacy piqued the curiosity of all the Red Night spectators. Even though this place attracted all manner of people, it was precisely because of their familiarity with the others that led the spectators to take an interest in this young man, who chose to present himself as so weak and easily bullied.
Alright. Now that everyone's here, we might as well get started with tonight's gambling then, shall we?
But before the gambling begins, why don't we first say what stake this colleague from Dragon Palace is bringing to the table that gives him the right to enter? Noticing that everyone's gazes were fixating upon himself, the newcomer stopped peeling the grape in his hand, then flicked up the juice in his hand with his tongue before wiping them off with a handkerchief, then took a white box brought up by the servants behind him.
My trifling Dragon Palace is tucked away in the bottom of the sea, with no land and not much in wealth. All I have is this tiny jade box.
As the white box was open, what looked like an ordinary little box gave off a surprising divine glow. Jade box. This thing is really real?
Pardon me, but what is the jade box?
Legends say it is an artifact that can absorb time. The young man, brimming with smiles, was clearly unaffected by the uproar he stirred up. With a small smile, he gently took the jade box back into his arms and closed the top. Just this once, the smile had a sinister air that escaped everyone's notice.
The very one. Pray tell, does everyone find this stake satisfactory? Okay. Gambling begins.
The shock over the jade box quickly passed, and a calculated introduction by Daiginjo brought everyone quickly out of their discussions. Cherry blossoms swirled in the wind, and a chill grew in the air. The blood-red blossoms stained the whole Sakurajima a marvelous red color. Red flames and paper lanterns flickered in the wind. The shadows cast on the ground were no longer those of young men and women mingling and merrymaking, but rather ghostly shades twisted into inhuman shapes. Soon, the last hint of light vanished from the sky. In the pitch darkness, untainted by a single ray, pair after pair of demonic glowing eyes opened up. In anyone's eyes, there were either steadfast determination or else a heavy lust for battle. After all, they were willing to join the demon parade, and even the Red Knight gambling den. Aside from the goal going in the night, another goal was to team up so they could ride in this gambling den. A Yagoi does what it pleases, but it wants takes. Here, I got it.
I know, right? Come on, I get it.
In the darkness, a pleasing voice oozing with charm spoke up. Daiginjo held a ghost lantern in his hand, and the flickering flame within the brightest speck hissed black, drawing all eyes upon Daiginjo.
Since everyone knows our new colleague, I'll skip the pleasantries that those humans are always saying. The Red Night is upon us, so let our gambling den begin.
Daiginjo blew out the flame inside the ghost lantern, plunging his face beneath the giant cherry blossom tree into still darkness.
Okay, so they haven't even gambled yet. They just keep talking about it.
I know, right?
They follow.
After a chaotic brawl, what brawl? The only two left whose masks had not been knocked off were Minteko and Takawasa standing off against each other. This again. No fun. How many times is this now? Every time it's these two. Hey, you two are in a cohorts together, aren't you?
Is it cahoots?
Oh, I thought it was or. Cahoots together, aren't you?
But Master Baki never cahooted with anyone. Is Baki the Takawasa person?
Mullah. Don't pay them any attention, Seaweed. Those two didn't even know either why they leave each other for the last every time.
You know this person's name is Wakame?
Mm-hmm.
We see each other. Every time?
Yeah, every single time. We're tired of seeing it.
I actually think it's pretty fun.
Daiginjo, you're the one to talk. You're the one who had the little fish sneak attack me.
That's a conspiracy theory.
Not every Yagoi who enters a gambling den hopes to come away with some odd liquid substance from their gamble. To the contrary, all that most of them want is just to have a fun battle. Over the long months and years, the lonely man and power itching to be unleashed have left their bodies yearning for a good hard fight that could really sink their teeth into. Although everyone was giving it their all, these gambling brawls were more like a sport than battle. And each time, the only ones who could engage in true wager were the two competitors who survived to the end of the free-for-all. The winner of true wager would receive the ownership of the stakes, the length of which determined by the provider of the stake. Of course, if you win next time, naturally you can win back what you lost. Tsukimi stroked his chin and watched Takawasa, who himself happily admitted defeat, cheering for the little leader. He shook his head resignedly. Tsukimi, what is it? Nothing. It just struck me what a persevering guy or boss is, eh? Sure, if he wasn't, then why would we follow him? Sure, if he wasn't, then what would we follow him for?
That was follow. Oh, so just to end that thing was talking about follow. So they named it that.
I wish it actually had the actual battle, huh?
Well, of course, it's gonna be hard to animate. I really want to know these other stuff, but we're not gonna be able. Okay, drink and feast.
The gambling den always went by quickly.
This is good art.
Perhaps because for this bunch of immortal Yagoi, more important than what they got at this kind of gambling den was the kind of fun they had along the way. And after each gambling den ended, it was time for everyone to party through the night. The first time taking part in a Red Night gambling den, Seaweed Salad once said,
I think what people care about more than the stakes at the gambling den are the drinks and the company they share afterwards.
Takawasa once again admitted defeat, and then gave Bachi village, which was once put in his name, over to Minteko to handle, along with the villagers that it was supposed to protect. This kind of result made Minteko feel quite conflicted. He did indeed wish to defeat Takawasa and bring what was his under his own command, all the better for him to deal with those selfish fellows. But Takawasa never put up his ownership rights of the stake, and each time after admitting defeat, it seemed he was just lazily dumping those villagers who didn't care about Minteko's fate like he was really weird.
Takawasa, you get back here.
I lose.
You're admitting defeat again? You're just using me as a free temp work, aren't you?
Ah, you're on to me.
You bastard. Tsukimi, let me go. Let me go. Takawasa, say that to the big guy's face. Huh?
The other Yaguas hardly bat an eye at a situation that would play out again and again every so often. Seaweed salad had already started roasting some delicious smelling venison at everyone's request.
Are you guys like this every time?
Fun, isn't it? Get some exercise, get some excitement, and even have some of Bachi's island finest food. It's nothing. Just keep coming back and you'll get used to it. Come on, have a bite. Seaweed salad's barbecue is delicious. With a glass of nutty sushis and venison from sea urchin in hand, Dried Scallops gave a look at Manteca, flailing at his short limbs trying to hit Takawasa, then shoved the venison into his mouth.
It seems from now on, these days won't be boring anymore. Thank you, madams.
We aren't a bunch of old ladies. You can chop madam next time. Half show. Huh?
What do you mean?
What? I'm confused.
What is it? That Mr. character is supposed to be Scallops or Dries.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he looks cool. His art is really good. I like it. He's at an event, but that's like a long time. It's probably in a year.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to read that too, we have a year. Okay.
How much in it?
Bully.
In the eerie glow of the green flame, everyone clinked glasses with one another. The clear liquor slowly drained to the bottom of one decanter after another.
Decanter?
Yeah, that's a place where you hold alcohol. When the alcohol started taking effect, even enemies that butted heads day in and day out could put their arms around one another and complain together about the boringness of life. I felt that. At this moment, if it weren't for the eerie green flames flying around and the twisted shadows it produced, the gathering couldn't be more ordinary. Amidst the merriment, Daijinjo, ever the focal point of the game, slowly stood up. He walked towards King Dango, silently enjoying his drink off to the side, smiling and waving the bottle in his hand.
Care for a drink?
That clear, bright moon no longer hung in the sky, and the bright, blood-red cherry blossom gradually faded into pretty pink and fluttered down into his cup, preserving the limpid liquid within. How many have we found now?
4.
That fast!
Yes, that fast. You're not getting soft-hearted, are you?
What?
Forget it. You have always been overly prudent.
If it's in the service of attaining one's goal, what's the harm in being overly prudent?
You really are scary. You're really willing to deceive your boss like this. Ooh.
Oh,
what?
plot twist?
This is like almost the last episode.
Skinny Dango turned his head and gently put his finger over Daijinjo's lips. I have never, ever deceived him.
Right, you've never deceived him.
Oh!
Whoa.
Oh! Is he a fallen angel?
No.
No. After the mingling and merrymaking, while the aroma of fine wine still lingered under the massive cherry blossom tree, the sky was already beginning to tinge a faint red. Food souls do not need sleep like humans do. We need sleep. By the way, guys, you know what time it is? It's almost 7 a.m. and we haven't slept. Yes, okay, summer. Okay, continuing. And our night of partying was nothing but a simple diversion for them. And when the first chill, brisk breeze blew away the aroma of alcohol, and after the spirit power started flowing in their bodies, the red tide of drink on all their faces also completely receded. That stared at the street not far in the distance. As it were so late night by human standards, the street was completely empty. But they still hid away the smiles on their faces from the party just moments ago. Red Night, aside from being a time when food souls possess abundant spirit power, was also like the night when fallen angels and their destructive appetites. And to fallen angels, food souls bringing spirit power was the most enticing morsel.
They're finally here. I thought they weren't gonna come this time. Hey! Now's no time for sleep, buddy. Mantaiko, your majesty!
We're about had our fill, and we're about to drink our fill. We should also get in some exercise. Half shell? Are you scared?
With you all here, what I have to fear? Alright then, monsters, let the big guy here see who's really the best. You, or yours truly. Okay,
last
EP.
one, guys. Let's
Sakura
go.
Tale. Wow, what an adventure, you know?
Wow.
Still don't understand it. Like,
Yeah, I still don't
I feel like
understand
we have to
what-
like read the side stuff.
Haven't you already did it?
No, I haven't.
You haven't yet? What?
No worries. I'll read it on the wiki if they have it.
According to legend, a long, long time ago, a kind of monster that preyed on humans suddenly appeared in Sakura. They had no intellect and were unable to communicate, but they possessed massive power. Humans have absolutely no way to defend against their power. But over the long course of their resistance, humans realized there were some strange beings that could defeat these monsters. Those beings were called Yagoi. They possess powerful strength, able to defeat the monsters, but that same power might also hurt humans. In order to make Yagoi able to protect humans, humans split time into two and placed them as overlords of the night. And the Yagoi walked the long avenues, congregating the night under the cherry blossom tree. The night always seemed to die to blood red. Such a foreboding night was known as a Red Night. And the sight of the Yagoi parading down the street became known to humans as the Night Parade of Demons. So, Mr. Mentaiko, are the Yagoi of the Demon Parade actually good or bad?
Huh? What do you think? Good or bad?
Good.
Why? Aren't they just taking the night away from the humans to make them pay?
But they're protecting humans too. They protect us and we give them a gift in return.
Really?
Right. Even though Mama says the Yagoi attack the monsters, but if there were no Yagoi, we haven't picked the cream of those monsters. So they're definitely good Yagoi. They definitely keep us protected and chase up all the monsters. The night is like a gift between us, from one friend to another. What do you think, Mr. Mentaiko?
Yeah, there are good Yagoi.
Right. Mentaiko was in a bit of a daze, watching the children be dragged out by his mother in the distance. And suddenly, a tap on his shoulder snapped him back to the present. Hey, what are you looking at?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing? If there's nothing, then what are you staring off in the direction for?
It's a gift. And not a price to be paid, eh?
Huh?
Well said. Your main man here is definitely gonna rule over Sakurajima. And then make everyone be good Yagoi. Like you said.
Huh?
Let's go. Time to patrol.
Hey, what's gotten into you? Hey, wait for me! Wow, guys.
Whoa, we're finally done.
What a cute ending. Wow, like, he's such a hero, you know, Mentaiko.
Definitely no. So let's summarize. So what happened? So first they were like introducing the characters, you know, and how there's this conflict between like, you know, humans and the food
Fallen
souls.
angels too.
And it's how fallen angels are like the third party. And they
Just
just had a misunderstanding, you know?
Just the power dynamic too between the different groups and the oppression and
Yeah.
the, you know, give and take.
Oh, do you remember I sent you the video about the podcast?
What podcast?
Yeah, like, like it's not really a podcast. Like, I really feel like this conversation needs to be talked, you know? Like he's just talking about nothing, random stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, so, yeah, thank you for listening. If, honestly, like I said in the previous video, I really want to make, like, content.
Yeah, like, we'll do better. Like, we'll just get higher quality if more people are interested in actually having good read-alouds. Like, obviously, I make an effort at trying to change the voices for the characters, but if I actually, you know, do some character building and I actually put some descriptions, I can definitely make distinct voices for every character so you guys can be able to tell which character I'm doing.
Yeah, and these events are fun. They don't come often, and, like, you know, I feel like if you enjoy the game, you should know a bit of the lore.
Exactly.
Well, the event's gonna end like 30 minutes, so I don't have time to read the other stuff. So yeah, I think that's
For
good for
next
now.
time.
So, like, I need to show my ranking.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I really want to sleep right now, but if my ranking gets past 1,000, I won't get 4-star Mentaiko. So we're gonna stay up a bit. But
Until the ranking's over.
yeah, I know.
But thank you for sticking around this far. If you have, if you have any requests for other read alouds, please put in the comments below, and we'll do them for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, bye guys. Have a good day, night,
Bye.
afternoon, wherever you are.
Yeah.